Bust it.
Hello and thanks for joining us. Ait Political Platform. My name is Amechi and the polity is getting hotter by the day in the National Assembly. There are talks of overriding some of the bills passed by it that the president had decided not to sign. The House spokesperson Abdul Razak Namdas named about 10 of them, and they say after consultations they would likely override the refusal of the president to assent to this bill. But on the issue of the bill reordering the sequence of election, the House said it may see reasons with the issues raised by the president in some aspects of it, but will also go back to the president to explain why the reordering of the election must stand. We will be having Abdul Razak Namdas, the spokesperson of the House of Representatives, on this program to give us more insight. And of course, the PDP is fast losing some of his members to the SDP. Sometime on this program, we told you that there are talks and rumors that SDP is the third force, but the third force movement, the New Nigeria movement, has come out to dissociate themselves from the SDP, saying they are still a neutral, independent organization. But in the last count, several stalwarts of the PDP have moved over to the SDP, and there are talks that more will continue, prompting the party to move quickly to see how they can stem the tide. We'll be speaking with Kola Olobondin, the spokesperson of the PDP, on this issue against the backdrop of allegations raised by PDP chairman Uche Secondus that about 8 APC governors are putting pressures on the National Assembly not to override the refusal of the president to assent to the bill reordering election. The big question is, who is afraid of reordered election? The PDP is alleging that the APC, especially the president, is afraid of losing the election if the order of elections are reordered. Adebayo Bodri is, as usual, with me in the studio.
It's cheerful news that the president was in Yobe State yesterday, and indeed he visited Dapchi. Which is very, very encouraging. Although you could see the state of anguish, pain, and sorrow of the parents of the abducted girls. Very, very sad scene. And the reassurance that they will be rescued. I think we need to keep hope on that they will actually be rescued and very, very soon. Very sharp. But the sad thing is that as these visits were going on, it's still very sad that the killings are yet to stop. Killings in Plateau, killings in
we had
Benue.
2 soldiers and 2 policemen were killed yesterday.
They are really very sad. I think we need to move very fast. If we have so many operations launched here and there,
presidential visits
by the police, by the army, by the Civil Defense Corps, and then presidential visits, and you still hear of killings, I think is something that needs to be addressed and very, very urgently.
And one reason why the president appeared to be receiving lots of sticks was his statement, an attempt to compare how his administration responded to the kidnap of schoolgirls in Dapchi and the way the former administration of Goodluck Jonathan did his own. The president was of the opinion that he moved faster than the Jonathan administration, but so many Nigerians are saying this is not an opportunity or a situation to begin to do comparison, that the president did not go to Dapchi for a campaign rally, that such talks are what are common on campaign rallies, that he should have spent more time comforting the parents of the Dapchi girls and telling them more about what the government is doing to rescue their child. But the president has told them that the days of the Boko Haram are numbered, that it will pay dearly for the abduction of the girls, and gave assurances that they will be rescued either through military operation or through negotiations and brought back. Ujue is also with us in the studio.
Amici, I would like to hold on to the promises, the assurances of the president, because for me it's always so sad when I think of what those 11-year-old girls will be going through in the hands of those. Jeez, man.
Ijama Samuel is also in the studio with us.
Amici, you talked about SDP and the coalition. You also talked about the PDP, people moving out of the party. Remember that before the December National Convention of the People's Democratic Party, there were warnings. Even the former president warned them that if they didn't get it right at that convention, the PDP will be faced with so many challenges. So I think it's an effect of what happened that is affecting the party today. If you listen to what Professor Adeniran said, he said he realized that the party, there's still very high level of impunity in the party and no internal democracy. That's why he decided to leave. It's not as if he doesn't have the love for the party. So I think the PDP still need to look inward, let them reorganize themselves. If it is possible to even go back to their some of their members who left and give them the assurance that things will change. Although the chairman is already saying things will definitely change, that they will get back those who left the party. But are they working towards that? Those are the questions we should be asking too. Because we keep hearing of people leaving the PDP, going to the APC, leaving this, going to that. How many are leaving other parties coming to the PDP? Those are the stories we want to hear.
Anyway, the boundaries, the lines separating parties in Nigeria are so fluid, almost inexistent. Within a space of 1 week, you hear stories of a particular politician moving from one party to the other, and before you could digest that news, you hear once again that it has moved again to another party. The movement is a jumpology, and the multiple movement is these triple jumps that Atlas carry out during the competition.
This is the season for movements. If you've been following political trends, even all over, it's the season for movement. It's the time for horse trading, for negotiations towards every major election. So everybody is looking for where to maximize, or every politician is looking for where to maximize his gains, his opportunities. It may not even be electoral, but where to be very relevant. So and it's to be expected.
The political parties have another option. Their primaries, presidential election primaries, governorship election primaries. If they don't get it right, no matter the party, you will see other movement too. Because after each party primaries, if it is not gotten right, people tend to be angry and move to another
And what appears to be encouraging the movements is the amendment of the rules of almost all the parties.
Yes.
Before, you must be a member of a party up to 6 months, sometimes 1 year, sometimes 2 years, before you can get a ticket to contest under the platform of the party. But the big parties have made it, amended it just less than 24 hours after moving from one party to that party. You are at liberty to grab their ticket and represent them in an
think
election.
what has encouraged that was the other time, that what I would refer to the balkanizing of the PDP, that was before the 2015 elections. They saw people moving away from the PDP to the APC in droves, and it really didn't matter to them because of the caliber of persons, like the former speaker who is now the current governor of Sokoto State. It didn't matter because of the caliber of persons, and I think they still want to encourage such developments. But honestly, I think it may not really augur well for party politics. There should be a measure of discipline.
Okay, let's take your input into this program. Some of the mails you have sent to our email platform, politicalplatform@yahoo.com, will be sharing with you right away.
Hello and welcome to the mail segment. I'm Amaka Okoro.
I'm Usaitin Yari. Welcome.
We'll begin with a reaction on Ujue analysis on the directives to the police IG by President Muhammadu Buhari. And it's coming from Tim from Abeokuta in Ogun State. The mail reads, I beg to differ with Uju's views that the police hasn't shown capacity to protect lives and property. Should Uju demand the police to lay down their lives in place of others? Did she remember the number of officers already lost in Benue alone? Is Nigeria worth dying for? Should you send your countrymen and women on a peace mission and they turn out to be the most wanted? They have no place to lay their heads, no motivation, yet you are talking of capacity. The same crop of leaders under the military and now civilian regime deliberately refuse to fund, equip, train and motivate the police. Remember, we get the type of police we deserve. What is the position of the police reform bill at the National Assembly? God bless my fatherland.
Writing in from Glasgow in the United Kingdom, Aston titles his mail, "What will our dear president ever be aware of?" The mail reads, "The rate at which the presidency has been feigning ignorance to vital issues is very disturbing, and the president has continued to do so with pride because Nigerians are either too mindless or too busy to hold our leaders accountable for their utterances and actions. Permit me to recount some few issues, both national and personal, our dear president has claimed not to be aware of. Some months ago, it was claimed the president was not aware of Maynard's reinstatement and promotion. Then followed the mild drama of his age, when he told Nigerians he never knew he was 75. Again, he allegedly told Nigerians he never knew his son had a power bike. As we speak, the president is still not aware if he will seek re-election. Then more recently, he boldly told Nigerians he was not aware that the IG undermined his orders over Benue killings. With all of this, I need to ask, what will our president ever be aware of? I know it's very wrong and disrespectful in our culture to say an elder is not being truthful, but it would be right, civil and more subtle, to say he's being economical with the truth. God bless Nigeria."
And over now to the National Assembly, Hazim Kazim from Lagos State says, now that Senator Sani has decided to run foul of yet to be promulgated hate speech law by spilling the beans on the allowance and emolument of members of the National Assembly, thereby embarrassing the hallowed chamber, he must be ready to face death sentence. On a serious note, the cost of governance vertically and horizontally in Nigeria is outrageous and unsustainable. A country where the local councillor earns more than the professor of the ivory tower is a nation on the road to ruin, perdition and underdevelopment. A country where the minimum wage is 18,000 naira. The National Assembly member's salary is outrageous. As it currently stands, a senator earns far more than the President of the United States or the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Until and unless we go back to the parliamentary system of government, no meaningful progress and development can take place in the country. The Assembly should be reduced to a unicameral and part-time basis. Thank you.
Writing on the electoral sequence bill, Samuel in Abeokuta, Ogun State says, that court order is like telling a snake not to bite, which is naturally wrong. It's like telling a monkey to stop eating banana. It seems Nigerian courts do not know that it's not all suits they should entertain. How can you stop the National Assembly from doing their constitutional duty of lawmaking? And smartly, APC is using an unknown party to run this errand. Maybe very soon, a stranger will go to court to prevent another person from going ahead to wed, and the court will give an order to suspend the wedding until the suit has been determined. That's it on the mail segment today. Continue to write to us through political platform at yahoo.com.
Thank you so much for speaking with us. Let's go straight to the National Assembly. The court restrained the National Assembly from overriding the refusal of the president to assent to the bill amending the electoral until Tuesday, when the issue will come up for hearing. So many Nigerians, including one of our listeners, appear not to be happy with that, but we'll be taking a look at it against the overall issue of the many bills passed by the National Assembly for which the president has refused to assent. And joining us now via telephone is the spokesperson of the House of Representatives, Abdulrazak Namdas. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
So yesterday, as you were briefing correspondence yesterday in the National Assembly, you put a number to the bills that were passed, but the president has not assented to. He said 10, and I was wondering why so many bills that the National Assembly will pass and the president will refuse assent. It appears to be unprecedented.
Well, I think the job of the National Assembly is to make laws. And either these laws will come through private member bills or it will come through the executive bill. And as far as the National Assembly is concerned, we have done so much, especially in the 8th House of Representatives. We have passed, National Assembly have passed enough laws and have transmitted them to the President. However, it is also within the law that the President has the right to assent or to withhold assent. And each time he, with all assent, he's supposed to give reasons as to why he has chosen to withhold this assent. And if we feel that we have better reasons, we will muster the two-thirds of the both houses, and invoking Section 58, particularly Section 58, subsection 5 of the Constitution, to override the veto. And once we are able to override the two-thirds in both houses, that means that that law stands passed, and it will be an act of parliament.
But the number, I repeat again, just recently the president was quoted to have said that the sour relations between the executive and the legislature has impacted negatively on his performance. Could it be that that sour relationship is prompting the president not to want to assent to bills passed by the National Assembly quickly?
Well, I will not just conclude that, because one good thing about this president is that he has been able to be signing some of the bills and has been able to tell us why he has chosen to withhold some of the assents. In the last previous cases, we have had presidents who will not even return the bill, will not tell you anything, and they will just keep quiet. But as to the number of bills, it also shows that the National Assembly is doing its job. We have done as much as possible to make laws, because sometimes people accuse us of not doing anything. Now we have done a number of laws for the good governance of Nigeria. It is now for the president to assent for us to have this good governance. Now, if we don't do that, and then it will not be in our interest. But however, we in the National Assembly are not out to fight the executive, but at least we have to assert our independence, because just like the judiciary is also asserting its independence, we are to work not only independent, but to also relate with one another, because one checks the other. If we make laws, the judiciary has to interpret the laws. The executive has to execute the laws. So I think there is need for also the executive to do more in terms of assenting to bills. But where we feel that some of these laws is going to be in the best interest of Nigerians, we will never lack. We will ensure that we pass these laws by two-thirds, because we have been elected by the people, and the voice of the people is seriously, as they said, is the voice of God. So we will do what is in the best interest of Nigeria.
Is it not possible, in the course of working on these bills, to interact with the executive, in the interest of a cordial relationship, so that you don't have situations like this? Because if you have executive input, I do not think that this kind of situation would arise to the point that 10 bills, that the president declined assent to 10 different bills.
You are right that there is need for us to work in having a good relationship between us and the executive. But I can tell you, let me give you the example of the PIB bill. In the 8th National Assembly, particularly the House of Representatives that speaks for, I recall that the Speaker had on several occasions called on the executive to present the executive bill on the PIB bill. But the executive couldn't come with one. It has to be the House private member bill that was moved in the case of the PIB bill. So in a situation where you even make attempt to say, okay, executive, what is your position? How do you intend to tackle the PIB? And we will look at your own and we'll bring our inputs. And if they refuse to come up with this bill, we will be left with no option.
Okay, very quickly, Honorable Namdas. 2/3 of the National Assembly constituted is a equivalent tax to PU. Are you optimistic that both chambers can easily override the veto with that provision in the Constitution?
No, the 2/3 means that in the House of Representatives alone, we need about 240 votes. That represents the 2/3 out of the 360. And in the Senate, they require close to about 70 senators out of the 109. But I can tell you that since we have taken a decision that we want to override, you should also know that we have made our position. We must have made our own contacts, and I've realized that we can be able to get the number. And I think the House of Representatives, which I have to speak for, I can tell you that in terms of getting 2/3, we are not having issues with it. By the grace of God, we will get the 2/3.
We just have to thank you so much, Abdulrazak Namdas, for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Abdulrazak Namdas is the spokesperson of the House of Representatives. And quickly, let's welcome our friend and the spokesperson of the PDP, Kolo Olobondinyo. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amechi.
Who is behind this move by the National Assembly to prevent it from overriding the refusal of the president to sign, especially the bill reordering sequence of the election?
Well, we have reports that about 8 governors have mobilized resources and they are moving around senators and asking them to stop the processing of the bill that seeks to amend the order of election. We have such reports.
Why would they do that?
Oh, they are APC governors now, and you know APC is afraid of the 2019 election, and as a result of that, they have this fear that if the presidential election doesn't come first, it will affect their own election too. So it's expected. It's all politics.
What the president said was not politics. He mentioned, drew the attention of the National Assembly to certain provisions of the Constitution. That doesn't sound like someone who's afraid, but someone who's thorough and is trying to be legal in approach.
Well, you, Dr. Amechi, you are vast and experienced in political reporting. You have covered National Assembly. You do know it as a fact that any act established by the Parliament also reserves the right to amend such acts. Thank God that they said they are going to court. Whether court has the capacity as an independent arm to stop another arm of government to function, all this will come to bear. For us in PDP, we are more than prepared for the 2019 election.
You don't have any problem with the order proposed?
Whichever way it goes, whether it is done, whether it's reordered or it's in this order, it's about Nigerians. It's not about our party. It's about Nigerians saying that, look, we are sick and tired of this president. We are sick and tired of this party. And it's about choice. It's democracy. So whether the order of election goes in one direction or it goes in the other, there must definitely be election.
Should the PDP actually be bothered whether 8 governors are trying to lobby senators? Is that not part of politics? And does your own party not do the same thing?
I've said that from the first instance, that we are not bothered. We are just making it clear to Nigerians. People who claim that they can win election are already lobbying our lawmakers and struggling to stop them from carrying out their responsibilities. So we are just laying it bare to Nigerians.
Is your statement, your allegation that 8 governors are trying to lobby senators and members of the House of Reps not to veto the powers of the president, is that statement not political?
I don't know how you take it, Ijoma, but what we do know is that we want Nigerians to be aware that some governors of the APC are struggling and mobilizing resources to stop the National Assembly from performing.
And what would you say is that lobbying is allowed?
No, I've said it earlier that it's all politics. You understand?
Let me take you to another issue. Professor Jerry Ghana started out as the secretary of G34 that transformed into PDP. He became the pioneer secretary of the PDP. He became the pioneer secretary of the Board of Trustees. He occupied political positions. He has left the party with other leading members of your party. Are you not losing sleeps over
Professor Jerry Ghana, as far as we are concerned in PDP, is a part and parcel of us, and he has not left our party.
Really?
Yes,
he took a leave of absence.
He has not left our party. as far as the PDP is concerned, Governor Seriake Dixon, the chairman of our National Reconciliation Committee, submitted his report yesterday. And principal among the recommendation of the committee is that all our leaders who have expressed concern in the election of December 9/December 10 at the convention ground must be brought back. So as far as we are concerned, people who are claiming that some people are leaving our party, it's just mere claims. Nobody has left our party.
I've seen Jerry Ghana and today Adeniro speak.
Yes,
on camera.
They are mainly expressing concerns.
Do you realize
they are expressing concerns?
Do you realize they are National Working Committee members, steering committee members of SDP today?
Are mostly PDP members.
Hold on. They can be members of any party anywhere. But as far as the PDP is concerned, we are leading a coalition of Nigerians that will surely defeat the APC and its presidential candidate in 2019 election. So as far as we are concerned, as far as the PDP is concerned, any party that is in opposition today is working with us. And the PDP is the major opposition party that will lead a coalition against.
So you may likely go into a form of alliance with the SDP and others ahead of 2019.
Any party, any political party in Nigeria today that is in opposition, that is prepared to oust President Muhammadu Buhari, has only one party to work with. We are not being boastful, but it's a statement of fact. We are represented and we are fully on ground in the 120,000 polling units in Nigeria. It's not going to be convenient for any party starting today.
Is your party ready to get it right this time?
We have always got it right, and we'll do it more rightly this time.
But looking at the PDP, with all the time you had from the last elective convention to this time, the fact that these people eventually had to leave the PDP to declare for another party, is that not a failing on the part of your party?
They have not left our party. I'm telling you.
Are they on sabbatical?
They have not left our party. That's the position I'm making.
No, you SDP is your own conclusion that they have not left. Yeah, they have told Nigerians they have left.
You know, politics is always very fluid. I hope you understand that. And don't worry, as we go into the election, you will be asked. You call me back here to ask me that how did you guys do it?
Okay, so maybe it's part of your strategy to send in some of your members into other parties. With a view, like you said, to winning the 2019 election. It's a developing story that will continue to track and will continue to reflect different perspectives to this issue in subsequent editions. Thank you so much, Kola Olobonde, the spokesperson of the PDP for...
Ijoma, Tonia, I'm very grateful to the crew. Thank you.
Okay, let's do it on Friday. That will be the very last edition. For the week, thanks for being part of this edition, though. My name is Amichi Anakwe.